I am back with another Pokemon run. This time I want to beat Pokemon FireRed with only Machamp. It's the Ace of Bruno, one of the Elite 4 members, and the poster child for fighting type Pokemon. It does have a lot of attack, but is it enough to beat Pokemon FireRed and leafgreen as a challenge on its own? Here are the rules. Rock might seem easy, but Misty and especially the rival will be brutal. But let's begin. Since Machop is available after the first gym, I use the universal Pokemon randomizer to change Bulbasaur to Machop. That way the rival will have Charizard in the end, which is the strongest Pokemon in the game, and it is a flying type, creating some issues for Machamp later on. The first part of the game is straightforward, beating every Rattata I can find and hope for a lucky fight against the last Weedle in Viridian Forest. But after it's done, the first gym leader Brock waits for an epic battle, which has the first badge on the line. I didn't know how much damage will come in, but there isn't much I can do, besides focus energy and pressing on low kick enough times to beat the battle. Geodude can tank some hits, while Onix is quite heavy, boosting low kick's damage very high. Unfortunately, no critical hits, so focus energy wasn't necessary, besides style points, and those are very important as well. Rock is defeated. This was a very good start, and on top, I received a TM for Rock Tomb, which allows me to have a good chance against Zubats, who live in Mount Moon, the next destination. And at the end of it, I can choose one fossil, which is of course the Helix fossil, even though I cannot use it in this run at all. But right after leaving Mount Moon are two karate dudes, and one of them teaches Mega Kick. That move helps a lot going through the trainer battles, since Machop doesn't learn a normal type damaging move at all. In Cerulean City are two major battles, but one of them should be impossible for a while, and the other one is the rival at the Nugget Bridge. The battle was not really complicated, but a lot of luck was involved. Pidgeotto could use Sand Attack, making the accuracy so bad, while Rock Tomb already has a bad chance to hit with 80%. Abra is not an issue at this point, but will be later on for sure. Rattata is a normal type, but Quick Attack can steal some points of HP. And Charmander could hit critical to make me lose, or could be faster with the right nature. But I got a critical hit in this try, but should usually outspeed. The rival's done, and he will get harder to beat with every time I see him. If you saw any of my FireRed and leafgreen runs before, you know I want to have the secret power TM as early as possible. And then don't use it at all. That's just my thing. I wanted to check out Misty before moving on to Vermilion City and was quite shocked that the battle wasn't as out of reach as I thought it would be, but some things have to come together to work out. First, Staryu has to use Harden. Second, Starmie is not allowed to hit critical, but Confusion is fine thanks to the one person berry I had, and the last point is, Mega Kick has to hit 3 times in a row to beat Misty's team, and giving me the second badge of the run. I am quite happy about winning the battle before my first evolution. On the SSN is maybe the real most important TM Brick Break. It's actually the best fighting type attack in the game, maybe just behind Cross Chop, but Brick Break always hits. And also here's the rival again. The battle is very similar to the battle at Nugget Bridge, but this time Kadabra could be an issue. I have to use Rock Tomb twice on Pidgeot, since Kadabra loves to use Disable, but I need all the other moves for the other Pokemon on the rival's team. Also, 3 accuracy drops was a sad sight to be sure, but I hit anyways, which felt kind of lucky. The rival got stronger, but next time is another issue on top, which makes it very hard to beat. But before all that, let's hop over to the gym of Vermilion City. Lieutenant Surge doesn't need any introduction. The free experience boost is here to have 3 Pokemon as a gift to me. Machop can learn Dig, and after that I did realize a small error. I gave the Cherry Berry to Machop, but I actually wanted to get paralyzed, since it boosted damage Machop does, thanks to the Guts ability. But Pikachu was so nice to help with Thunder Wave and Static. Raichu can use Double Team, which is a nasty move to use, but one hit and the battle is over, removing the Pokemon Lieutenant Surge has, and I receive another badge. That's perfect, and now up ahead in the mid-game of Kanto, which is also the perfect time to let Machop evolve into Machoke, a way bigger and stronger version of its former self. I want to see how it is able to beat the challenges to come. Deep inside the rock tunnel, in the darkest area, is a teenager who teaches Machoke Rock Slide, the way superior rock type attack over Rock Tomb. Is it the strongest rock type attack in FireRed and leafgreen? I think so. Leaving Rock Tunnel and south of Lavender Town is a nice girl who has 1 TM for me, the TM for Return. I won't use it yet, but will need it for some battles. Back to Lavender Town. The rival waits in the Pokemon Tower for another rematch, but this time he does have Gyarados with Intimidate. The only reason I run through the team so easily is because he was scared to use Gyarados earlier. And also, Machoke was faster than Pidgeotto, which was very funny to see. Most likely since Machoke got so many levels over the bird. But Rock Slide is amazing and beats half of the rival's team at this point. Only one Mega Kick was used against Execute, didn't even knock it out in one go. This has to change for later or I might get in trouble. But anyway, his team went down one by one and Machoke was victorious again. Let's see how long this winning spree holds on. In Celadon City are two major battles and I went for Giovanni first since Erika resists fighting and I can get a level or two before facing her. I actually thought Giovanni doesn't stand a chance at all, but Kangaskhan could have beaten me. Fake Out did a good chunk and one Mega Punch missed. That was lucky for me. But let's say both hit and one of them would have been a crit. It was actually possible to lose here. But I didn't and that's all what matters in the end. Getting the Silph Co and moving on. The gym leader in Celadon City is Erika, a grass type specialist. Grass is not the issue, but the part poison type can be. I still have Mega Kick just for this battle, to have as much firepower as I can get. Victreebel goes down in one hit. Tangela is not part poison, so Brick Break is a better option here, defeating it in one go as well. Erika's Ace Vileplume is a bit different, it was way more tanky than Victreebel and survives a Mega Kick easily, while Stun Spore paralyzes Machoke. The potion restores the HP, another Mega Kick connects and defeats Vileplume. Thanks to the Guts ability. Erika is defeated and it wasn't too bad, maybe I could have beaten her before facing Giovanni, but it is too late now. The top of Pokemon Tower is the favorite place of Mr. Fuji. Talking to him lets me move on to Fuchsia City or enter the Silph Co, which is the next stop for now. After trying a lot against the rival Silph Co and Koga, I realized I need to level up some more and thought I was already too high when I battled the rival again. It was actually super close. Pidgeot can decide the battle on the first move, if it uses Feather Dance to reduce Machoke's attack by a lot. Execute can use Stun Spore and I wasn't sure if Cherry Berry was correct or not, since the status itself boosts the attack a lot and my fighting type is quite slow anyway. Alakazam doesn't have a real damaging move at the moment, but I feel like it will be the biggest issue in this run going forward. Charizard looks dangerous, but Rock Slide is double super effective and beating it easily. Very similar to Gyarados. Even with Intimidate, the damage is amazing and nearly knocks it out in one go. This is great. Another rival battle, another win, but this will not last too long anymore and in a weird way, I'm looking forward to it. But once the rival is defeated, Giovanni, leader of Team Rocket and the mastermind behind the takeover of Silph Co, is not a big deal anymore. His team is way weaker and has big issues against Machoke with any fighting type move and Dig, a ground type attack to beat up the Nidorino and Nidoqueen. I think activating Poison Point was actually beneficial to me since it made the KO on Kangaskhan and maybe even Rhyhorn very easy. Giovanni is done and runs away again. The next battle against him is actually very good, and not for the battle itself, but for what I get when I beat him. I went straight over to Koga, the most frustrating gym leader in Kanto. There are so many runs where he is just free experience points, just a little bump in the road. But in this run, he is horrible. I genuinely needed way over 20 tries to beat him, but maybe my strategy wasn't really that great. This try, however, I got very lucky with the critical hit cross chop against Mach and win that way. I do know that Rock Slide does about the same damage as cross chop, but I do believe I didn't realize it when battling against Koga. Cross chop has a lower hit rate too. Anyway, I was able to get over Mach eventually. The second coughing got a bit annoying, but I think the worst thing was wheezing. Hitting with 2 smokescreen after one of the coughings already did smokescreen before was a bad feeling. Rock Slide and 2 Brick Breaks fit right into the HP to defeat wheezing without seeing any hyper potions, and I got it in the end to finally beat Koga. I removed Mega Kick before and I think that was a big issue here too. But anyways, I go over to Saffron City again. The Psychic type gym and its gym leader Sabrina is horrifying. If all I have is a Machoke, a fighting type Pokemon. But I have to make the best of it, and went full ahead into the battle, I learned quite a lot. For example, Kadabra is so weak it does go down against 1 Brick Break and I skip the possibility of Reflect. Against Mr. Mime it has to be Rock Slide, or I go through all the hyper potions first. which might be a plus actually. No, Alakazam is an issue. It's a small gamble if it uses Core Mind or Psychic. When I say small, I actually mean very big. But Core Mind lets Sabrina lose every time. Venomoth is weak to rock, so all I have to do is hit and the battle is over. Sabrina is done and defeated. Another badge for me and I can move on to the little island known as Cinnabar. After losing an embarrassing amount of time against Blaine, I thought it's about time to let Machoke evolve into its final form Machamp. I think this will change a lot going forward. And it did. Blaine, the fire-type gym leader, changed from nearly unbeatable to super easy, barely an inconvenience. The issue was that Rapidash and Arcanine were faster than Machoke, but as a Machamp, it does outspeed everything here. I think that was a real key to victory here. Rock Slide is amazing when the attacker is faster, thanks to the chance to flinch, but I just needed the damage to win. Blaine is defeated, only one more badge to go. But I guess a little vacation to the Savvy Island is in order. I want to make room in case I need the move relearner later on, because I'm not too fond of cross chop at the moment, but removing it just feels bad. It deals so much more damage than Brick Break. The last gym leader of Kanto is Giovanni, and I thought this battle might be hard since I cannot reliably hit the Nidos, but in the end it was really easy. The only move that they use is Earthquake, and as long as I don't use Dig, it's totally fine. The critical hit against Nidoking didn't matter, I promise. The best it could do was a bit of damage, but nothing major. This battle is very important. It gives me the ticket to challenge the Elite Four and the TM for Earthquake. But after thinking about it for some minutes, I realized that there's literally only one Pokemon in the entirety of the Elite Four where Earthquake is good against, and that's Arbok. Anyway, Giovanni's defeated and I did the gym challenge till the end with only a Machamp. Before doing the last stretch of the run, I used up the TM for Thief on Machamp just to get a black belt in the fighting dojo. I have a feeling a bit more damage is always useful. One of the last battles of this FireRed and leafgreen challenge is against the rival at Route 22. This battle will be a little glimpse of what is to come and if Machamp has the tools to go all the way. The first Pokemon to beat is Pidgeot and I am faster, which was a nice surprise. One Rock Slide connects and defeats Pidgeot right on the spot. Next is Alakazam and this is always a gamble. Is it Disable? Is it Core Mind? Or do I just lose the Psychic? This time it was Core Mind and I am allowed to move on. The rival starter Pokemon Charizard is a very hard opponent to beat. For some reason I see a critical hit against me, which might be the point where I just lose. But I want to continue on for now. Since Rhyhorn isn't a big deal just yet, I think this Pokemon will be the reason to get Cross Chop back later on. Execute can be quite annoying to deal with, so I teach Machamp Return to deal with it. Last is Gyarados and this might be the end, thanks to the critical hit earlier, but Rock Slide lets Gyarados flinch and I win. That's amazing. The rival is out of Pokemon and the first taste of the Elite Four seems fine, so let's see how it will turn out. The first Elite Four member is Lorelei, basing her team on water and ice. I wasn't sure how hard this battle might be, but I think Brick Break might help a lot. First Dugong and Brick Break hits and defeats it in one go. Very strong start. Next is Slowbro and I don't have a super effective move, but Return hits critical, putting it right into the red. Amnesia doesn't matter, so let's use another Return and I thought maybe the Rock Slide is a good fit. Could also let it flinch, which also happened. Amazing. Against Cloyster isn't much to do, just pressing on Brick Break and hope that there aren't too many protects to slow the battle down. It worked out perfectly after several turns. Jinx is the one Pokemon I was scared about since it has Lovely Kiss. It did miss, but I had a Chesterberry just in case. Just one hit to remove it from the battle. Last is Lapras. Lorelei's Ace and Brick Break did a huge number, but didn't KO. It's so close it's scary. But besides Confuse Ray, Lapras cannot do anything to Machamp, so it won't matter. Just one full restore to push through, and that's it. Lorelei is defeated, but she is usually the easiest one. That's a lie. Of course Bruno's the easiest one. Actually, in this run it might not be entirely true, but with just one miss, the battle seemed trivial. First is Onyx, but Brick Break is here to remove it from the battle immediately. Next is another Onyx. I don't understand Bruno's idea here, but doesn't really matter either way. Hitmonchan can deal a lot of damage and has counter, which it most likely used in this try, but we will never know. Bruno's Hitmonlee is faster and deals quite a lot of damage with Mega Kick, but Brick Break removed it as well. Last is his Ace Machamp, the true mirror match. Brick Break deals over half, but Bulk Up would mean the next hit brings it into healing range. So Rock Slide for the chance to flinch, but Cross Chop missed. That's why I don't like that move. One hit and Machamp is defeated. Bruno is out of Pokemon. It went by so fast I nearly missed the battle. But playtime is over, the real battles are next. Like Agatha, the first trainer in the Elite Four who needs a real strategy. Well, it's a strategy, but it's not that deep. I realized that Earthquake is basically useless in Elite Four and removed it for Bulk Up. Against the first Gengar, I used 2 Bulk Ups to increase the damage and decrease physical damage, which is the only way Agatha can deal damage besides Confusion and Toxic. And after several tries, Rock Slide can finally connect to defeat the first Gengar. Golbat will be done in one hit if Confusion allows me to act. When Machamp does use a move, Golbat is super done, completely removed from the battle. That Haunter can use Hypnosis, that's why I had to Chesto Berry right from the beginning. It was very useful. Agatha's Ace Gengar can use Hypnosis too, but I just have to hope it misses or I lose again. If it misses, the battle is over fast. Well, there's still Arbok left, but while Sludge Bomb hits and poison Machamp, one return is all it took to beat the snake. Agatha is defeated and that means there are only 2 more battles left to do. Lance, the last Elite Four member and Flying type specialist, should be one of the biggest issues in the run, but I found a little strategy to win here. First Gyarados and I went for Bulk Ups, multiples even. I need the defense boost to survive wing attacks and the damage boosts are very nice too. I hope to see a lot of Twistas, since it deals so little points of damage. Next is Aerodactyl, and as long as wing attack doesn't hit critical, it is quite easy to push it away. Dragonite, Lance's ace, is just a bit too slow to do anything, and a Rock Slide defeats it in one clean hit. Dragonair can be annoying, but for that to work, it has to hit first, and it never did. The second Dragonair is also the last Pokemon, and it is down in one hit. Lance is defeated. It was a lot easier than expected, but don't worry, the final battle of the run will break my Machamp. And I don't want to lie, I have at least 30 tries against the champion. While I do see how it is possible to win, it is so unlikely to happen. I need to only see sand attacks from Pidgeot, but still hit every single move. Alakazam has to use Reflect or Future Sight, but no Psychic. Charizard literally has to miss with Fire Blast, and that's only the first 3 Pokemon. I need another way to win, and I think I found one. While exploring Kanto, I received a lot of rare candies, 9 to be exact. I missed some, since I thought I might not need them, but this is a time where I use all of them and hope for the best. This is it, the final battle against the champion of Kanto, the strongest trainer in this game, or second strongest after I'm done with him. Did the rare candies bring me to the next level, or is it back to a drawing board? First is Pidgeot and I have to use 2 Bulk Ups. 2 is the exact number to hit in order to defeat every Pokemon of the champion in one clean hit. The big bird on the other side is using 1 Sand Attack and 2 Aerial Ace, which might be good enough. Next is Alakazam and it does use Reflect, while Machamp's Brick Break removes it immediately and knocks the Psychic type out. Now comes Charizard, the strongest of all Pokemon, and Machamp just tanks a Fire Blast head on, while Rock Slide is finally able to connect and beat the Fire Dragon. Executor can be very hard, and while Citrus Berry restores some HP, Return misses, but Sleep Powder did too. I was so scared that the good star is wasted yet again, but another return hits. Ground and Rock type Rhydon can tank a lot of hits, but not against Machamp with 2 Bulk Ups. And last Pokemon of the run is Gyarados. But Rock Slide just hits and defeats the Water Dragon in the end from full HP, even after 1 Intimidate. The rival is out of Pokemon. The champion of Kanto is defeated, and that means I beat Pokemon FireRed and leafgreen with only a single Machamp. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I see you in the next one.